The Moody Mile has written some memorable epitaphs. Jimmy Horton has won twice, but he remembers the ones that got away. Danny Johnson tested concrete before tasting victory. Kenny Tremont took 20 years to win one, 3 years to lose two. Billy Decker, some bad rides before some better ones. Brett Hearn, then a decade of feasts, now a decade of famine. This Moody Mile enforces a cruel contract. If you win here, you will pay. It's majesty, it's splendor, it's history. It's the Rite Aid 200 next on Speed. Super Dirt Week 36, the Moody Mile at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse for dirt modified racing. It's the Indianapolis and Daytona 500s rolled into one where legends are made. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eric Thomas along with Shane Andrews. This monster in behind us is known as the Moody Mile in Syracuse. You know, this is the championship. If you drive a dirt modified in North America, if you own one, if you sponsor one, even if you work on one, if you're a fan of this kind of the sport, this is the pilgrimage you need to make. It's the #1 racing assignment you do all.
An 11-year run here from 1985 to 1995, Brett Hearn had an incredible run of good fortune. Brett, did you ever think that after all those wins, you might not end up back in victory lane here at the Rite Aid 200?
Well, I knew some of them were pretty lucky wins. I knew some of them we came here and dominated the race, but I never thought that in an 11-year stretch since then that it would be as difficult as it is. And I think I really appreciate how much luck I really did have in winning those 5.
From excellence to heartbreak, anything can happen here in a matter of moments. How do you deal with that from year to year, and how is your car today?
Well, I think the first couple of years that I dropped out for various reasons, I just was, there's a little bit of frustration, probably more so than the last couple. It's been like, something happened. That's, it's almost like a relief to get it over with. But now, I understand what it's all about, and we prepared as hard as we always have this year. And the only thing I can do is look forward to today.
All right, that's Brett Hearn, and his luck is about to change. He won the 358 race here this year, and in 1990, he did that, and he won the big block race on Sunday. So we could be looking for another sweep here in 2007.
And some of that Hearn patented luck at Super Dirt Week struck here in the 358 championship late in the afternoon. On the mile, last lap, I thought Pat Ward had his first win, but no, he runs out of gas. Pat Ward ran out of gas with 1 lap to go. Brett Hearn was able to get by. Rain dictated the day. There was a competition yellow. Everybody came in for gas, and Brett Hearn went the longest and picked up. You back at Super Dirt Week 36, the Rite Aid 200 Big Block Championship. And this is the way they're going to line up this afternoon. Jimmy Phelps on the pole, beside him 4-time winner Billy Decker.
Row number 2 on the inside, we find Tim Fuller, the 2004 winner, and Pat Ward out of Genoa, New York in the 42P.
Row number 3, J.R. Hefner and Ronnie Johnson. His dad, Jumpin' Jack, won this thing twice.
Row number 4 on the inside, 5-time winner Brett Hearn and the Hurricane Steve Payne in the 7X.
Row number 5, Richie Tobias Jr., big fan favorite. The only Canadian in the field is Dave Hebert.
Row number 6, Ryan Godown out of Regos, New Jersey, and Jason Barney out of Constantia, New York.
Row number 7 on the inside, Gary Tompkins and Vic Coffey, who won the race in 2002.
Row number 8, Rick Laubach in the 14, and Kenny Broitville, winner of this event.
Here's row 9, Dale Plank in the 77, and our defending race champion, Danny Johnson.
Row number 10, we find Steve Hulsizer out of Brewerton, New York, and Billy Dunn from Watertown, New York.
In row number 11 on the inside, Wayne Jelly and Mike Perotti in the 35.
Row number 12, 23rd starting spot, we find Tim Hindley in the 1H and Mitch Gibbs out of North Norwich. He'll go away 24th.
13, Ron Smoker and 1999 winner Kenny Tremont.
Row number 14, we find Jerry Higbee in the 47 and Jeff Trombley in the 21J.
And row 15, Sean Reimert, the rookie, and 2-time winner NASCAR veteran Jimmy Horton.
Row number 16, Tom Sears Jr. in the 83 and Keith Flack in the 43 car.
Row 17, Bobby Barron, former pole sitter, and Chris Schultz in the 24.
Row number 18, we find on the inside Ryan Phelps, the Rocket, and Donnie Corellis in the number 21.
Row number 19, Bob McGannon and Russell King.
Row number 20, way back in row 20, Matt Shepard in the 44S and Justin Harris in the number 3.
And row number 21, Frank Cozy, 29 years at Super Dirt Week and 3-time winner Alan Johnson.
22nd row, Eddie Marshall in the number 98. He came from the Last Chance race, as did Chuck Bauer in the 99B.
Row 23, Kevin Bates and Kenny Stafford.
Row number 24, we find all by himself, Andy Bicchetti out of Sheffield, Massachusetts.
Andy finished third to Pete Bignell in the small block race here at Syracuse in 2000. The Mahindra tractor in-car cameras. The Dr. Danny Johnson gives us this view out of the rear of the 27J. Looking forward, Brett the Jet Hearn in car 20. Ronnie Johnson wants to stop him from winning his 6th championship, no doubt.
Brett Hearn wants to get by everybody. In front of all these great race fans here today, a capacity crowd, Eric, on hand.
Absolutely. White flag from Dave Farney. We should be ready to rock for 200 laps of combat in the Rite Aid 200, but hang on, there's a concern with our defending race champion Danny Johnson. The crew, Danny's on pit road, our defending race champion. This engine does not sound healthy.
No, it didn't. When he pulled down pit lane, we could hear us skipping a little bit. This is the Dave Thompson Motorsports owned number 27J. Mike Burdick, he is going right to work, popping off the Zeus pins to get that cowl up to take a look underneath the hood.
Getting him to fire it up to see what's going on here. What a tough break for Danny Johnson.
He comes into the race starting back in 18th.
Listen, it doesn't sound good at all, like it's only running on like 2 holes or something.
If he gets this car fired up, he's going to have to go to the rear of the field.
Absolutely.
And start 47th.
The field is ready to come around. They push Danny away, but you can hear it there. It's gurgling pretty badly. There's a major ignition problem or something in the engine room of the 27J. Dave Farney is ready. We are cocked and loaded for 200 laps of combat of the Moody Mile. Super Dirt Week 36. The big dogs are ready to eat. The Rite Aid 200 is off and operating on speed. Down into turn number 1 they go. Ronnie Johnson gets caught out on the outside, loses a couple of spots there, Shane. Maybe adrenaline, who knows? You don't want to get caught out this early.
Well, the groove is only about a car width and a half on the track right now, so as this field goes around, it's going to push the groove up and out as the race continues and progresses. Here's Brett Hearn. You can see him hugging the inside Jersey barrier off on corner number 4.
You can see those abrasions in the track. And Danny Johnson, no, that thing is just not going to operate at all. And can you believe this? Before the race is a lap old, our defending race champion is behind the wall.
A tough break for the doctor out of Rochester, New York. Had high aspirations to repeating in this event.
Jimmy Phelps, our pole sitter, has jackrabbited out to a huge lead. I got to wonder about that strategy. You're going to burn your tires and you're going to burn off your fuel. I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do.
Well, it's early in the event. You want to set the pace. There is lap sponsorship money available. And Jimmy Phelps right now, he just wants to get out in front in clean air. Nobody in front of him.
You're really sliding and getting into one, Jimmy. You can slow it up. You got 15 leads.
That's Billy Colton from Troyer Engineering on the radio along with crew chief Randy Kosaki telling Phelps to roll up a little bit here. It's nice to get out to these big leads. It's all showy and flashy, but you don't want to do any damage and waste some fuel and scrub off your tires.
Especially when you are out in front like this, you're setting the pace of the race so you can go as fast or as slow as you want and make everybody else come to you.
J.R. Hefner in the blue 88 up to 4th down the back straightaway. Phelps just ran a 37.84. They can't be happy with that. That looks good, but you got to sort of blow it up a little bit here.
It's a long event. It's 200 miles, 200 laps. You don't want to show your hand too soon, but yeah, you don't want to hold back too much. Otherwise, you're going to be behind everybody else and you're going to be in the dirty air and you're not going to be able to see how your car is going to be performing in clean air like Jimmy Phelps is.
Phelps leading, Decker second, Fuller is third, Hefner is 4th, 5 is Pat Ward, and 6 is the Hurricane. Steve Payne, there he is there. Never won this race. He's finished second, he's finished third, still looking for his first victory in the big dance.
It's not his favorite racetrack to come to and race, but you know, every year Steve Payne seems to get a little better and a little quicker and more comfortable here on the mile.
Just claimed his 8th consecutive championship at Canandaigua Speedway. That sets a new record for consecutive championships in Dirt Northeast at one Speedway. So picking their places, nobody getting too fancy at the moment. Brett Hearn, nice and tidy, running 7th at the moment. This is the in-car camera. See those abrasions in the racetrack? Man, this track has taken a pounding this weekend. It has been dry, it has been dusty, and as Mark Kenyon talked about, it's flicking bits all over the place. So it's a handful. Oh, that's Syracuse, pretty much patented stuff.
Well, it's like running on a washboard because so many cars are out there and they make little grooves within this track.
And the yellow has come out. Yellow on the speedway to slow the Rite Aid 200 down for the first time. We've got a problem up in turn number 4. It's Kenny Brightbill, another former winner. He won this race in 88. He has got a left front flat that is going to slow him down. Another former winner in trouble at Syracuse. Danny Johnson is out. He's with Mark Kenyon.
Danny, last year on the roof of the car with a big win. This year, the first guy out. What happened?
Oh, we had some motor troubles we just can't overcome, and you know, we're giving a hell of an effort. Thanks to Thompson Motorsports crew for all their efforts they put into this, and you know, we'll just have to regroup and try it again.
That's where racing is, first to last. It's a tough sport.
Tough sport when your race champion is out before the first lap is complete. But that Alan Johnson, his brother, a three-time winner, is victimized as well. What else can happen? More of the Rite Aid 200 on speed when we come back. We've got you back at Super Dirt Week 36, the New York State Fairgrounds, Syracuse, and the Rite Aid 200. Advanced Auto Parts Super Dirt Car Series Modified Championship on speed, getting set for the restart. Man, I just cannot believe it. Both Danny and Alan Johnson out of this race already, Shane.
And Jack Johnson, a two-time winner of this event, didn't even qualify for the race. So 3 Johnsons that are synonymous with dirt car racing are not even in the event.
Green, green, green from Dave Farney, and the Rite Aid 200 is back underway under dazzlingly sunny skies at Super Dirt Week. Phelps, Decker, Fuller, Ward, Payne, Hearn, Ronnie Johnson, Barney, and Tobias, your top 10.
You know, we've been listening a little bit to Jimmy Phelps's radio, his crew chief, Randy Kosacki, and his spotter, Billy Colton, telling him ease off a little bit more going into turn number 1. You don't need to overdrive the car. Tires are so important here. You don't want to use them up too early in the race.
Ronnie Johnson trying to hold off Jason Barney and the rest of the crew as they make their way down the front straightaway.
Keep your eye on that 55 car, Eric. That is Mitch Gibbs out of North Norwich, New York. He started 24th on the grid. He is now up to 10th in the Gary Mann-owned number 55 machine.
Battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Still very early in the contest. Gibbs is a hot runner. There he is, Dale Plank. Right in behind him in 11th place. 170 feature wins at a number of different speedways.
Oh, they've raced all over the Northeast against each other. Utica Speedway, Fulton, and Brewerton. They had some of the best battles I ever watched growing up in the 358 modified division each and every weekend.
Dale Plank in the 77X starting to press Gibbs as well. So Dale Plank, we mentioned top of the show, running like the bear, showing his hand early.
The Plankinator, as he is known as, he's running the Ryan Jacobs-owned number 77X, the Kookies Motorsports ride. He has really been a force to be reckoned with this year. He has a series win at the Brewerton Speedway in big block competition. Look at that power move. Wow, Mitch Gibbs just drove right around Ronnie Johnson on the top side of the speedway in 3 and 4. One of the toughest places to pass at this track.
Brad Hearn in the 20. You hear it outside. That's Richie Tobias Jr. Toby, as he still call him. That was his dad's nickname, the 1975 winner. But Brad Hearn biding his time here. He got outside. You heard it on the radio. And Richie Tobias gets by. He's already making his march towards the front. You knew he was going to do that.
Toby loves this place. If he could have an outside groove here all race long, he would stay right up there. He raced in the USAC Silver Crown cars here, used it to his advantage in those races, and he uses it to his advantage on the mile during the modified events.
And Brett the Jet has Barney and Gibbs hot on his tail as well. So Hearn biding his time in the top 10. He's got all kinds of company going by him and in behind him as well.
Hearn's savvy on the mile. He knows you don't need to press the envelope this soon. And look at this battle, Eric. Billy Decker and Tim Fuller, 2 good buddies off the speedway doing battle here on the mile.
Yeah, they both won it today. Fuller for a 2nd time and Decker for an unbelievable 5th time to tie the Brad Hearn record. So these 2 guys, buddies, as you say, on and off the racetrack, but they don't want the other guy to beat him to the next win for sure.
That's right. And, you know, Tim Fuller's going to stay right there on the back of Billy Decker until Decker makes a mistake, and vice versa. And this could be the opportunity Fuller was waiting for.
Fuller, the leader in the Advanced Auto Parts Big Block Point Series, gets by Billy Decker. This early in the race, you got to think that the Franklin Flyer let him go.
Maybe, but I don't know. Billy Decker wants to stay close to the front. Here comes Toby, Eric.
Tobias with Steve Payne down on the bottom. And he's got Pat Ward ahead of him. What did he talk about? There's no outside groove. He's going to make one on his own.
He always does every time he races in the Rite Aid 200. The most spectacular racer to watch here on the mile.
Well, he has been absolutely roaring about the place. So why don't we take a look at some of Richie Tobias's passes, because they're worth looking at again. Early in the race, the man they still call Toby, that was his dad's nickname. He dispatches some guys early in the contest. And on the back straightaway, same deal, Shane.
He pulls right up along Ronnie Johnson, gets by him, and then he drives around Brett Hearn like Hearn was tied to a tree.
Exactly. He said this is a 200-lap Saturday night shootout. There's no groove in the upper portion of the racetrack, but liars both times. He's making it work anywhere he wants to. Jimmy Phelps after those big leads. Let's go to the pits and Mark Kenyon.
Randy, Jimmy looks comfortable with the car. Are you saying anything to him to keep him calm on the radio? He was a little uptight before it started.
He's okay. We're just trying to not make him run any faster than he needs to. We're trying to save tires. Anytime Fuller pulls up there to give him a little pressure, we just tell him to pick the pace up a little bit. So it's just tire management right now.
Randy Kosaki, watch these guys. They got it figured out.
Well, I'll tell you, what do you do here? They're telling Phelps to slow down, but Fuller is right on him at this point, Shane.
You can tell a racer to slow down, but he's not. But they're not the ones driving the car. He's going to go as fast as he can to stay in the lead. That's why you race. You want to win. You want to be in front.
And trying to slow people down isn't easy. Jeff Trombley, we talked about Gibbs, talked about Tobias gobbling up cars. I don't think anybody has passed more cars on the racetrack than this guy right here, Jeff Trombley from Altamont, New York. He started 28th. He is now 17th. He has been roaring about the place. And talking about roaring early, our points leader, Tim Fuller, has overhauled Phelps. He's got himself the lead in P1. Early, showing his hand, Shane. Let's listen on the radio.
Coming on you, Jimmy, coming on you. Looking at the inside. Clear, clear, clear.
Billy Colton from Troyer Engineering on the radio. That was the pass for the lead. Fuller getting by Phelps. Let's listen again.
I'm kind of afraid of it too. The track's opening up. There's a lot of dirt down there. I just need to know if we need to take stagger out. Probably wouldn't hurt a little bit. Take a little bit.
Yeah, too much stagger would make the car oversteer, Shane. Maybe that explains the loss of the lead.
Doesn't want to be loose on this racetrack, and you can hear already pit strategy is coming into play, Eric. Already talking about how to make their cars better as this race goes on.
The Gypsum boys having at it here, Decker and Ward. Ward, of course, running out of gas in the last lap of the 358 race. He doesn't want that to happen again on the big block side. Battle for 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Toby Tobias just got around the slower car of Russell King. Jason Barney held up a little bit. Barney, a sprint car racer all season long, making his first appearance in a big block modified. Doing very well on the mile today, but he's got one of the best right behind him.
Absolutely, yeah. Jason Barney, an Empire Super Sprints regular, and this will be his maiden voyage at Super Dirt Weekend. You're right, the 5-time winner. Brett Hearn trying to hunt him down in car 20. He's got our in-car camera, remember.
Oh, I look at Jason Barney. He's throwing everything except his helmet at King to get by him. He wants to get up there and race with Tobias. King drifts up a little bit, but Barney looking for that one spot to get by, and it's here in between turns 1 and 2.
Battle for second, Phelps and Decker, followed by the 42P of Pat Ward. The top 4 cars are some of the strong favorites. All are in pretty good positions now, you gotta think. Fuller, Phelps, Decker, and Ward, your top 4.
Billy Decker has become a master of this mile. If Brett Hearn dominated in the mid-'80s and early '90s, Billy Decker has been the dominator in the '90s and the 2000s. Absolutely. As he has really come to life with this Gypsum Express team.
And there has not been a guy who can conserve gas better than Billy Decker. It has been uncanny how he gets extra laps on a 1 cell of fuel. Sometimes 15, 16, 17, 18 laps more than anybody else can.
Car owner John White has to be happy right now. He's got his Gypsum Wholesalers 91 of Billy Decker running up there. He's got his Gypsum Express car of Pat Ward right there. You know he's got to be smiling with the way his 2 drivers are performing.
And I'll tell you something else. Pat Ward has been fast here all weekend. He was fast in some of the series races coming into Syracuse, and I'll tell you what, he's got a huge fan following in the grandstands. It's a sea of red t-shirts down there.
Pat Ward's been doing this for over 30 years. When you've been doing it this long, you know how to get around the Moody Mile.
Absolutely. He's still looking for his first big show. Won the Labor Day Classic here not that long ago, so he does know how to navigate the Moody Mile. Working our way, lap 60 out of 200, and a problem. Ron Smoker out of Hamburg, New York, up near Buffalo. He is in trouble up near the wall. The former big block and small block regular at Merrittville and Ransomville Speedway. A lot of action at Sharon as well. Even a midget racer. This is not the way he wanted his day at Syracuse to end, no doubt.
And you know what this means, Eric? Pit stops are going to be coming up. If you want to change a tire, do it now. This is going to set you up for the rest of the event.
Crews are ready. The pits are going to be chaos, and we come back to the Rite Aid 200 from Super Dirt Week 36 on...
The boys are ready for you. Bring it down here. Nice controlled stop. Foot on the brake.
Tim Fuller's pit instructions. Jimmy Phelps is in 2 quickly down to Mark Kenyon.
Jimmy Phelps brings the Troyer car down in the pit really hot. He slides it up and locks it in. He's going to slide through his pit stall. The crew goes to work. Fuel all over the place. They're fueling up the Virginia Motor Speedway number 98. It's a madhouse down here as these crews work to pit these cars. Left rear tires off, 1 can of gas in, 2nd can going in for Phelps. In the meantime, Decker's in, Hearn is in. They're all topped on top of one another. Phelps with the best spot out. He's away, down. They're having trouble with the jack. Phelps losing some spots. Phelps away.
Well, it's a costly stop for Jimmy. Decker, Ward, and Fuller all beat him out of the pit, so now he's got some work to do. And problems with Brett Hearn in the 20, our 5-time champion.
Clutch. Done.
Brett Hearn says his clutch is done. The crowd reacts to this. Some of them like him, some don't.
What's the matter, BH? Clutch. No clutch, man. Not the clutch. Put it in high gear and crank it, Brett. Put it in high gear and crank it. Come on, quick.
Incredible. Brett Hearn's going to go down a lap. The truck is there.
Push truck's there. Come on, BH. You got to push up. Let's go. You only one lap down. Come on. We got the monkey dog. Hey, man, we still got the monkey dog. Come on. Now.
Finally get Hearn rolling, Shane, but he's got what he called the lucky dog, or what we call the easy pass.
The easy pass is given to the driver that is one lap down. The first car one lap down, instead of racing back to the yellow, they get to come around to the tail end of the field and on the lead lap.
Ronnie Johnson takes over the lead. He elects to stay out. He's on a different strategy. Meanwhile, the Hearn crew have got a big hole to dig out from. His luck has changed again. Back with Super Dirt Week in a moment. Welcome back to Super Dirt Week 36, the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse, and the Rite 200 Big Block Modified Championship, and the crowd is buzzing. Nobody makes a bigger noise in the crowd. All you got to do is mention Brett Hearn, and the place goes crazy. Some boos, some cheers, but it's loud.
In driver introductions, the place erupts with a chorus full of boos. He's won here 5 times, and remember, he won this race coming from a lap down before. Never count out Brett Hearn on the mile.
What are you gonna do, man? We'll make a plan. Just stay calm. We will make a plan. Let's just settle down here for a minute and get a little more organized.
That's Denny Salerno on the radio with Brett Hearn. He's got that easy pass to get his lead back. He's the only car down a lap. He will get the easy pass to improve his position, but he takes the green starting 38. We're restarting proceedings on lap 68.
Pit strategy big here, Eric. If you look at the top 4 cars that did not come into the pits, you have Ronnie Johnson. Right there you have Eddie Marshall in the 98 car, Matt Shepard's 44S. RJ stayed out on the track. He started in position number 6, while the number 44S of Matt Shepard started 39th. Eddie Marshall started 43rd. Justin Hare started 40th. So they picked up track position. But Mitch Gibbs was the big winner. He was the first car out of the pits on that exchange. Now put himself in a great position.
He started 24th. Man, the deck has been shoveled. Just a great race so far, Shane.
Oh, it's awesome to come here to the mile. Beautiful weather. And this is what I like most about this race, the Rite 200. It's strategy. You can't go the full 200 laps. The crews are involved. You've got to be a mathematician to figure out the fuel mileage. Tire specialists come into play. This race has it all.
And part of the strategy is adapting to a racetrack that you're just not used to. Most of these guys run on bull rings by comparison, with no pit stops involved at all. It's just fill it up and go as fast as you can. You come to the mile. It's the biggest race of the year, but it's also the most different race that they have to handle.
This is only one of 3 races where the pit crews make live pit stops, Eric. So the pit crews really have a lot of pressure on them. And of course, the drivers only come here once a year. Syracuse is now a pressure cooker.
Oh, it sure is. How about those guys that were running up front earlier on before the pit stops? Positions 9, 10, 11, and 12. You got Phelps in the 98H, you got Fuller, you got Payne, and you got Tobias. Here's this battle with Payne on the back end of the Fuller 19. Has a little notion, takes a peek down the inside.
Boy, Steve Payne looking mighty racy in that 7X. And I'll tell you, the guy to keep our eye on is Toby Tobias in that number 1 machine. Did you see him hanging out there off of corner number 4?
I go back to the conversation we had. We got a problem with Ryan Godown. Get back to that in a second. He gets hung out on the outside out of Ringo's, New Jersey. That's loose out there. It's not easy to hang onto the car.
Gary Tompkins in the 84 did the same thing down the back straightaway, battling with Vic Coffey in the number 32C. That backstretch is so narrow. You have to make the right moves at the right time off of corner number 2 if you want to get by somebody.
And that was a gulper with Tompkins and Coffey. That was a near miss back there. Coffey won this race in 2002 after a strange situation, after a big rain delay. Everybody dropped out ahead of him, running out of gas. So he wants to hang on to it this year and see what he can do. That was a close call with Tompkins.
Oh, it sure was. And look at him coming down the back straightaway. Everybody getting a little loose off the turn. Not a lot of adjustments were made other than the stagger from the tire changes in the last pit stop.
Billy Decker in the 91. Pat Ward, his gypsum teammate, following.
Wonder if they have the same pit strategy. They're right there together on the track again.
It's got to be some kind of strategy for sure. They have just been staying close to each other pretty much the entire distance here.
You wouldn't have won this race as much as Billy Decker has if you didn't have strategy.
Oh, absolutely. Strategy comes into play. We keep talking about that, but it's just so critical here.
It's critical, especially now in this portion of the race, Eric. These guys came in, they changed the tire. They're not going to be able to go to the end of the 200-lap race on the fuel that they have, so they're going to have to stop again. So now they're going to conserve that tire a little bit, wait for the next caution, dive back down pit road, get the Sunoco race fuel, and get back out there and try and make it to the rest of the end of the race.
Well, they ask you when it's look at the lap times here with Fuller. You can tell that the pole was what 28 seconds. He's soft pedaling it, if there is such a thing as soft pedaling it at Super Dirt Week. Gives you an idea of these guys trying to save their tires. With the track being this dry and dusty, is that going to accelerate the tire wear? I may know the answer before you even give it a minute.
It's going to save the tire wear. Okay. It's going to save it because they'll be able to go the rest of the distance on the tire. It's the fuel that now comes into play. The farthest we've seen somebody go is Billy Decker, about 115, 116, 117 miles on a tank of fuel.
Well, the master at saving fuel has got a big problem. Billy Decker in the 91.
I guess the tire wasn't the vibration. Actually, I think it's the motor. The motor just let go.
Oh, can you believe this? Billy Decker, a four-time winner. The engine has let go. The Johnsons, Hearn has trouble, and now Billy Decker is in the soup.
Boy, the mile can rear its ugly head on you at any time, and it just reached up and bit Billy Decker.
Yellow, yellow, yellow for the Rite Aid 200. We talked about it in the opening. You win at this place, you will pay. Decker has been a genius at stretching his fuel, stretching his gas for extra laps out of a cell's worth. He's not going to get that opportunity here today. The track has come back to seek some revenge and get a payback.
Always one of the favorites when they roll into Super Dirt Week. A four-time winner. Billy Decker's day is done.
Absolutely. More drama continues to build. Yellow, yellow on the racetrack. Here's your top 10. More of the Rite Aid 200 coming up on Speed when we come back. Back to Super Dirt Week 36, the New York State Fairgrounds, Syracuse, and the Rite Aid 200 Advanced Auto Parts Super Dirt Car Series Modified Championship on Speed. Eric Thomas, Shane Andrews, Mark Kenyon, Sarah Hunt. We had pit stops during the break. The New Egypt champion, Matt Shepard, in routine stop, fuel and tires. On the exit, heads up. Oh, Chris Schultz, 24, levels a little hip check on him there. Doesn't appear to be too bad. Justin Hares had a bit of a sticky pit stop in the number 3. Oh, look who's standing by in the pits in the Justin Hares squad. It's Tim McCready, the 2006 World of Outlaws Late Model Series champion. Let's get an update from the Hares pit. Here's Sarah.
Okay, guys, just an update down here in Justin Hare's pit. There was a problem with the lug nut. They dropped a lug nut when they were doing that tire change. They said not a big deal. Tim McCready said the only thing that they're worrying about right now is racing against Matt Shepard. Both of those cars are on the same pit strategy, so watch for those two out on the track.
Different strategy for Matt Shepard, Justin Hares, and David Hebert all coming in. They look like they want to try and make it 124 miles.
That is a huge stretch. What's going on with the clutchless Brett Hearn? Here's Mark Kenyon.
Andrew, you got your lap back. Where's it put you now? Tough break.
I guess we blew the clutch line when he left for our tire change there. We're going to fill it with gas in a little bit and push start and see where we get to go.
That we're seeing guys like Phelps just had a problem with the car, same like you. The motor will run, but he can't get it to go in low gear. Should we be looking for something with these transmissions?
Absolutely. If you jam it in too hard, blow the clutch line out or burn the trans up the side, it's happened to us. I guess it can happen to anybody.
Hearn's got himself a little hole, but don't ever count him out.
Well, some better luck for now, but they still have to come in again, and with no clutch, that is going to be a Herculean task to get the number 20 in and out of the pits as we're ready for the green flag again. Restart, lap 81. Johnson, Eddie Marshall is in the mix now. Piketty, Gibbs, Ward, Phelps, Fuller, Payne, Tobias, and Tompkins. And Pat Ward is on the hunt, Shane Andrews.
Pat Ward's put himself in a pretty good position right now with the number 42P machine. Remember, he came oh so close to winning that 358 modified race. He's now looking to get around Mitch Gibbs in the 55.
55 of Gibbs and the 42 of Pat Ward. You mentioned 30 years worth of competition in dirt modifieds, over 70 feature wins, and he's got a huge fan contingent here. He's been fast all weekend at Syracuse. Pat Ward's going to be heard from before we're all done here this afternoon.
You've heard the booze here at Syracuse, Eric, when Brett Hearn is introduced. Can you imagine if Pat Ward could win this race? The place would erupt in cheers.
I think they'll dismantle the grandstand bolt by bolt or do something like that. Gary Tompkins in the 84. You can see the smoke as they head down the back straightaway. The modified mainstay at Canandaigua Speedway is up in smoke in the 84. Slowing down, he slots into the outside to get out of the way.
Gary, is it the motor?
That'll be sometimes big time 4.
And be a Big 10-4 on that motor. Never has any luck at Super Dirt Week. Danny Johnson pops a motor. Billy Decker pops a motor. And the motor on the 84 goes south as well.
Tough break for the Doug Doolin-owned number 84 machine. His best finish here was in 2004, where he finished second to Tim Fuller.
And he's a former Mr. Dirt champion as well. The caution flags are out again at Super Dirt Week in the Rite 200. And Gary Tompkins, there he is dead in the water. A replay. Not much to see here other than you put your foot down, you suddenly hear a noise and a vibration, and boom.
And then the puff of smoke comes out of the car. And you made mention of this, Eric. Pulled it right out of the way. And look at this, the front runners coming down pit road.
This is the third angle on strategy we have seen. If you're coming in now, this will be the last stop you make before the end of the race. Ronnie Johnson, Marshall, Ward, Phelps, Gibbs, Payne, Coffey, they're all in. Quick, let's go to Mark Kenyon.
Pat Ward misses his spot. Big confusion, wreck in the pits. There's a wreck in the pits. The 98 car of Phelps, Ward slid through his pit stop. The two cars collide. Damage on the Phelps car. Phelps is going to pull back out. Pit road is getting real dangerous down here.
Tell you what, you got front runners Ward and Phelps banging together in the pits. You bet pit road is getting dangerous. Hearn is in again too. That's going to be trouble. But if you notice, Vic, Coffey, Shane out of the pits before anybody else on lap 84. Put a star beside that one.
Yeah, if all these cars think they can go 116 miles on a full tank of gas, then Coffey is sitting in a prime position.
Mass confusion in the pits and a little contact besides. Brett Hearn going to get a push by the truck here, and he's going to stay on the lead lap. He gets another stroke of good luck. It swings the other way.
And this should be the last pit stop that he should make,
right,
so that clutch should not become a problem for him later in this race.
Brett Hearn underway and rolling behind the push truck, and they are not happy in the Ward pit.
We got screwed there. Yeah, he pitted right here in front of us. Who hit me, Jimmy? Yeah, nothing he could do.
Welcome back to Super Dirt Week 36, the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse in the Moody Mile, the Rite 200 Advanced Auto Parts Super Dirt Car Series Modified Championship. Eric Thomas, Shane Andrews, Mark Kenyon, Sarah Hunt. I cannot get over this weather, Mr. Andrews.
Absolutely gorgeous, Mr. Thomas. Mother Nature today just shining brightly upon us in Syracuse, New York. It's not snowing, it's not raining, it's sunny, and we're going back to green.
Andy Bicchetti out of Sheffield, Massachusetts will lead him off to green on lap 88. Looking towards halfway, and that halfway bonus of $5,000 from Aramark Uniforms. A little early now, but that's got to be in the back of guys like Bicchetti's mind.
Andy Bicchetti started last on the grid. You need something to work towards during this race. Why not go the distance and try and get that $5,000 bonus for leading lap 100, the halfway point?
Law back in the 14, go down in the 26, had a little peek too of Ole, Pennsylvania rookie Sean Reimert. They're in this mix as well. Reimert, his maiden voyage at Super Dirt Week, has got to be dazzled by the whole thing.
Boy, I'll tell you, Eric, so many different pit strategies during this race. We know that we're going to see pit stops coming up again. Now, Andy Bicchetti has already decided to try and go to the halfway point to get the $5,000 bonus.
Right.
We saw Tim Fuller and Toby Tobias pit on 61, lap 61. You know they're going to have to come back. Lap 76, Matt Shepard came in. He's trying to push the envelope. Will we see him back? And then, of course, the most recent pit stop, lap 84, Pat Ward, Brett Hearn, Jimmy Phelps. They're going to try and go 116 laps.
I'll tell you something. Look at this battle for second and third. You got Fuller in the 19. You got Rich Toby Tobias Jr. out of Annville, Pennsylvania. This is the fight on the track, and the best one, I think, so far in this race. You got Tobias down looking low on Fuller. Is he going to overhaul it here? This is a classic battle for runner-up and third place, and Tobias makes the move cleanly on the inside.
That is an important move. Those two guys are going to have to pit again. That pass right there could be first in, first out of the pits. And one other guy we need to mention as well, Vic Coffey came in on lap number 84. He could be putting himself, remember, he beat everybody off of pit road to put himself in position.
And you got Jason Barney in the 35 now trying to chase down Fuller. That's the battle for the top three, and we see for the first time Jimmy Horton, the NASCAR veteran of Neshannock Station, New Jersey, a two-time winner of this event.
Right, won this race in 87. He won it in 1994. Jason Barney, he is out there running a great race. Kind of just drove around Tim Fuller. I wonder if Tim Fuller just let him go, kind of conserve a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Horton with lots of NASCAR experience in the old Winston Cup Series, as was known then, and even served as a crew chief for NASCAR veteran Bobby Allison in the last few Busch races that Mr. Allison won. And a problem for Wayne Jelly. The 2004 358 small block winner is in trouble, and the yellows are coming out again, Shane.
Tough break for Wayne Jelly. Bounced all around some different tracks this year, racing the big block modified, and that right rear sneaker is shredded.
Well, here's another opportunity for a final pit stop as the yellow comes out on lap 92, and Wayne Jelly is the top come off the jar. The rear tire is out of there. Let's have a replay of this.
Here you see him coming into turn number 4, and the car starts to wash out on him. The right rear sneaker blows apart, and he drifts up to the top side of the speedway. Fortunately, he did not hit anything.
Major pit stops are happening. Our third place automobile, Tim Fuller, is in. Standing by at his pit, Sarah Jane Hunt.
Tim Fuller is in now. It looks like it's just a gas and go for the team. No adjustments on the car. They are filling that thing to the top, taking a couple extra seconds here, and now they are off. That could be just as much fuel as they need to make it to the end, guys.
Toby Tobias putting on tires as well. They're also taking fuel. Go down in the 26. And Phelps is on his way in. Up front early. Let's see what happens in his pit stop.
Well, they're going to give him some gas, and it looks like they're going to the left front, Eric. I wonder if that's from the contact with Pat Ward.
You got to wonder. Pit stop earlier, he got into the back of Pat Ward's 42P, may have damaged something on the corner of the race car. It is a bit of an elongated stop for the 98H.
Probably a good thing. They're taking their time looking over that shock tower, too, to make sure there's no damage, but a tough break for this team.
Absolutely. Jimmy had a rocket ship today, but the plans have kind of hit the rocks. They're happy in Richie Tobias's pit. Rich Francis looks happy, looks satisfied.
Should be. His car is sitting in a pretty good position.
Welcome back to the Moody Mile in Syracuse, the New York State Fairgrounds, Super Dirt Week 36, and the Rite Aid 200 Big Block Championship. They're loving the weather. The grandstand is absolutely packed. The Parkers are in the trunk. We didn't have any use for them this weekend.
I'm loving this race. The strategy that has come into play so far that we've seen in just the first 95 laps of this event is just absolutely phenomenal. These guys are on top of their game, all trying to do different things. Andy Bacchetti right now looking for $5,000 for leading halfway.
Halfway bonus, restart in lap 97. Let's give you the top 10. Bacchetti, Barney, Parati, Reimert, Heinle, Dunn, Higby, Shepard, Bauer, and Keith Flock. The race, you're right, for $5,000 and the halfway bonus from Aramark Uniforms.
That's a pretty good chunk of change
Not
to take
bad.
out of Syracuse. You know, well, we'll probably pay for the diesel to get the car here for the weekend.
Other thing to keep in mind, too, with Bacchetti, came from last to first. That has been done before, in case you're wondering. 1989, you remember? Alan Johnson, that's right. From worst to first, can Bacchetti pull it off? He may be only racing for the halfway bonus. What about the rest of the 100 laps?
Alan Johnson had a little help in that race with Frank Cozy and his brother Danny getting into the wall.
Alrighty. So continuing to power, there's the position climb from the back. Added in when Jack Johnson couldn't answer the bell for the start of this race. Bacchetti installed on the scratch position. You saw him in the starting order, and he's up front right now. He's got that $5,000 in mind, but man, from last to where he is right now, pretty good piece of work.
That is the Steve Huff number 34 that he is driving. Steve Huff, a competitor at the Lebanon Valley Speedway, along with Andy Bacchetti. Andy sometimes drives Steve Huff's equipment. Here he's doing it today, and he's looking to pocket $5,000.
Hey, Mike Parati in the 35, did he ever get a little bit squirrely coming off of the corner there, trying to chase these two guys down? Bacchetti in the 34, and your second place runner, Jason Barney. I'm still impressed by Barney's first run here. And a problem with our 1998 pole sitter, Bobby Varon out of Sharon Springs, New York. The Jake Spraker entry up against the wall, Shane.
You can see the damage on the left rear quarter panel, and it looks like a little gasoline leaking out of there where the quick fill goes into the side of the car when they fill up on the pit stops.
Man, that stings. You never want to put a car anywhere into the wall, especially at Super Dirt Week, and Bobby Varon has just done that. Let's see the replay here, Shane.
It looks like when he went into turn number 1, he got up into the loose stuff, and it took him right up into the wall, and he backs it in.
I want to hire Bacchetti's scriptwriter. How did he manage this? He gets the $5,000 halfway bonus during yellow. He gets to pit as well. And standing by in the pit is Sarah Jane Hunt.
And your halfway leader, Andy Bacchetti, is now in the pits. The crew goes to work on the car. They are taking gas. They are taking a right rear tire only. This crew was very, very happy when the halfway mark came out. Could they go with another can of racing fuel? And these guys are not making any adjustments. just finishing up here, and your leader at halfway, Andy Bacchetti, is out and away.
The wild child. I'll tell you what, Eric, we know he has enough gas to go the distance. It's going to be fun to watch him come up through the field as he'll do what it takes to get to the front.
Well, they're a happy bunch of boys down there. You never know what'll happen. It is Syracuse, after all. What will the final 100 miles bring? Find out when we come back to Super Dirt Week 36 of the Rite Aid 200 in a moment. Welcome back to Super Dirt Week 36, the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. It's the Rite Aid 200 Advanced Auto Parts Super Dirt Car Series Modified Championship on speed. Another shuffling of the deck in pit stop, Shane.
Yes, definitely. We see that the 32C of Vic Coffey putting himself in prime position. He pitted on lap number 84.
Focusing on the 32, Mark Kenyon.
Down here in the coffee pit, Tim McCready's wandered around down here. Did he give you any advice on fuel mileage?
Well, yeah, Timmy gave us some advice. Obviously, he's been around a long time. Pretty much the same strategy that we were going to go by, but it's nice to have a guy like Timmy with his character in the pits to talk to Vic, and you know, the experience. Obviously, you can't put a price on that.
You nervous?
Yeah, we're very nervous, obviously.
That's the way it is here at Syracuse. It's either going to be victory lane or have your heart ripped out.
Well, I think you have rights to be nervous. Remember when Coffey won this race, Shane, in 2002? A lot of high-priced talent ahead of him ran out of gas, and that's what gave Vic the victory. He doesn't want that to happen to him.
No, he doesn't. Chuck Bauer, he was up to as high as second. He just pitted. He regroups at the tail end of the field on the lead lap.
So forming up to get ready for a restart. Feet go down, RPMs come up, and so does the noise. At Super Dirt Week, a restart on lap 144. We are green again on the Rite Aid 200. As they power to turn number 1, the Mahindra Tractor's in-car camera with a 20 of Brett Hearn.
Brett Hearn on the top side going after Dale Plank right west into the sun. Wow. Tough view.
Absolutely. Late getting going here, so the shadows are long looking right into that sun. Brett Hearn, bad clutch and all. Maybe the luck is starting to swing the other way. What is this? Tim Fuller on the outside where angels fear to tread. He's got Steve Payne on the inside as well.
A bonsai move by Fuller. He got around Hearn, he got around Payne, and those two drivers are no slouches by any means. He just passed two of the best in the business in one lap.
In Coffey doing some passing of his own on Dave Hebert, the only Canadian in the race for second. Hebert on the same strategy as Shepard, 124 laps to finish the race. He probably let him go. He must be saving fuel, Shane.
I think you're right, Eric. But now look at this. You've got Matt Shepard leading the race. Vic Coffey right behind him as Shepard pitted on the same lap as Hebert. I don't think that Shepard's going to let Vic Coffey by.
No, I don't think he will either. Can he keep up this pace? That is the question.
Pat Ward just got by David Hebert for position number 3. So now everything is starting to fall into place. The different pit strategies are starting to come around. It's like a big game of Stratego. You've got to make sure everybody is lined up just right to get to where you want to be.
Let's get an update on Matt Shepard. Here's Sarah Jane Hunt.
Matt Shepard's still in the lead. You guys need to come back in.
No, we're staying out. We're going a distance is what we got right now. We're hoping for fuel mileage.
You guys last came in on lap 76. You think you can make it to the end?
Yes, I do believe we can make it.
There you go. Matt Shepard guys are going for a record here on fuel mileage.
Takes us back a little while ago, several years ago, when Brett Hearn, Shane, tried to go 125 laps. Mark Kenyon described it as a feat of biblical proportions, but Hearn ran out of fishes and loaves and gas, and we're following him right now in 8th. Can history do it again? Who knows?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see, and you know, somebody looking for some good luck is Matt Shepard. He's looking to overcome some bad luck from the Triple 20 qualifying on Friday.
Oh yeah, this was a mess with the dust and with the sun and visibility. If you could find some, you were lucky. This is what happens when you can't see.
He tried to get under Pat Ward, and Eddie Marshall got into the back of him, setting off this chain reaction. You can see everybody scrambling. The 77X, that's Dale Plank getting involved, and you see Shepard was just a sitting duck.
Yeah, and Shepard's car was pretty badly damaged. Doesn't show it there in the back of the record, but that car was done. All right, back to the racing at hand. Coffey in the 32C, the 2002 champion, is pressing.
He's sitting in a pretty good position. He only is trying to go 116 laps. He may be in a better position than Matt Shepard, who's trying to go 124 laps. If it were me out there, I'd be looking to go 116. 124 is really pushing it, but hey, I don't know. I just announced.
Yeah, who will blink first? It's kind of like a game of chicken out here, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. One guy that's really in a good position is that number 19, Tim Fuller. Remember, he pitted on lap 93.
Right.
He only needs to go 107 laps. He may be the most comfortable sitting guy out there right now.
And let's remember, he is the leader in the Advanced Auto Parts Super Dirt Car Series by 32 over Hearn coming into this. You know he's thinking about those numbers as well as his fuel mileage.
That's why he made that bonsai move to get around both Brett Hearn and Steve Payne. The farther he can stay in front of Brett Hearn, the more points that he earns towards the title.
Well, you just saw Fuller's progression up through the field. He has run a masterful race. So far, it's coming to him. Let's go to his pit and Sarah Jane Hunt.
Tim Fuller running really strong today. We're here with Smoke. Smoke, how's the car?
Car's pretty good. We got a good driver, safe tires and gas. Pretty good lap 93, and I think we got enough to go. Just grinding it out right now.
All right, those guys are good to go.
You know, everybody is riding, fluttering the throttle, going just as fast as they need. Not to do anything wrong, but they're trying to stretch every ounce of gasoline they possibly can.
It's kind of like the old tortoise and the hare version of the race. It started out earlier where the hare takes off running. Now the tortoise is taking over. You want to go as slow as you can. You do not want to use any more gasoline than you need to. And Matt Shepard is dictating the pace of this race.
Sure he is.
Nobody is going to take a chance out of the fear of using too much fuel. So Matt Shepard's sitting in a prime position.
You know, I got to wonder, too, if Shepard and Ward's machines may have been lumped up a little bit from their bruises in the pits. We had Schultz get together with Shepard, and then we had Phelps and Ward tap into each other, too.
Well, we saw Chris Schultz and Matt Shepard hit together rub bar to rub bar, and it doesn't look like it did any damage to the 44S. Now, the incident with Pat Ward and Jimmy Phelps on Pat Ward's pit crew, they were pulling the tin away from the tire. So, if anything, maybe a little tire rub on the right rear quarter panel.
But it's always a panicky situation when cars get together in the pits, no matter what happens.
Definitely. You want to keep your eye out on everything. And Syracuse has always had tight pits. This year, they extended it 85 feet.
One of those things you notice it at home on television, the window pillar on the driver's side, and there is such a thing on the modified, on the Pat Ward 42, has come detached at the top at the roof. It's not affecting the way the car performs, but you notice it every time he goes by.
If anything, it's an annoyance for Pat Ward that it's wrapping up against the roof. There's actually a Zeus screw that goes in there. It's a brace that it goes from the roof all the way down to the side panel of the car.
Big Coffee trying to hold his own. Here's got some pressure, though, from behind. That's the 42 of Pat Ward with that little flapping window pillar, if you will. Everybody out here just going as fast as they need to. That's awfully tough to gauge, trying to hold race car drivers back. We're getting close to 50 to go here, but they don't want to waste any fuel or any more than they have to.
This is a test of aggressive patience. Now, they run on 3/8 mile tracks, 5/8 miles, quarter-mile tracks, where they have the foot to the floorboard at all time. Here on the mile, it's a completely different strategy because you want to get to the end, and you know you're going to have to make your pit stops. They've already done that. They've calculated how much fuel they need, and now it's up to the driver to work that pedal ever so gently to get them to the finish.
Patience is a word you don't normally associate with these guys, but you have to work that into the equation here at Super Dirt Week. And with less than 50 laps to go, Shane, how has this track changed?
It's actually gotten wider, and if anybody is going to benefit from this track widening out and getting another groove, it's going to be Toby Tobias Jr.
Rich Tobias Jr. out of Annville, Pennsylvania. Pressuring Brett Hearn. Running this race without a clutch. Every pit stop he has made has been enormously difficult. The battle for 8, there you see it, Hearn and Tobias. Without a doubt, a big fan favorite here at this facility. Every time you mention his name on the PA, Shane, the place went berserk. Let's check into the Tobias pit. That's where Mark Kenyon is.
Richie's back here. He's all over the back of Hearn. There's only 50 to go. When are you going to tell him to go?
He's going. We just got Hearn. We got plenty of fuel, and we've had no issues with right rear tires. He got plenty of right rear to go, so we've let him go. He's on his own right now.
Richie Tobias, they've lit the wick.
I'll tell you who else has turned up the wick. Vic Coffey, meanwhile, back at the ranch, has passed Shepard for the lead. We got a new leader up front. Let's have another look at it, Shane.
Going into turn number 1, Shepard pushed up just a little bit, and Coffey was able to filter through to the number 1 position.
2002 champion, making P1 stick. Meanwhile, while that was happening, here's a battle for 8th place. Tobias dispatches Hearn. And the battle for 2nd now. Shepard in the 44S and Pat Ward in the 42P. These guys have got a good battle going. Pat Ward has a little look down below.
Shepard in a tough spot right now. He's trying to keep the pace with Vic Coffey without using a lot of juice, but he's trying to keep Pat Ward behind him so he can stay in contention if something happens to Coffey.
Just as Rich Francis said, Richie is on his way, chasing down Fuller. Fuller in the 19. Richie Tobias Jr. called Toby. Ward again working on Shepard. They do a little clickety-clack with the front and rear bumpers. That is as close as you can get here at Super Dirt Week.
Very close quarters. Matt Shepard has enjoyed success here on the mile in the past. He won a sportsman race during Super Dirt Week. He's also won a 358 modified race during Super Dirt Week, and he's looking for his first Rite 200.
He knows how to get around this place for sure, but he's got the wily veteran Pat Ward. Goes way wide to have a look on the outside. Now he has another look on the inside with Matt Shepard. Down into the Justin Hare's pit for a surprise guest with Shara.
We're down here in Justin Hare's pit, and we found Tim McCready. Tim, you moved on. You're a Richard Childress Racing Development driver now. You were the 2006 World Outlaws champion, but you started here. How is it to be back here?
Oh, I love coming to this place. I just wish I was fast, get a car fast enough to come, and I'm glad Vic's running up front. Coffey with a Swedish Plus car, and Justin Hare's having a great run. I'm just enjoying myself.
There you go. Justin Hare's is getting his information from Tim McCready. Should be a good team, guys.
And there is a relationship between T-Mac and our race leader, Vic Coffey, isn't there, Shane?
That's right, Eric. It's a business relationship. They formed what they call Coffey McCready Enterprises, CME. They field the modifieds that Vic Coffey drives, and they fielded the late model that Tim McCready drove to the World of Outlaw Late Model Series Championship. And besides that, they're great friends.
Absolutely. So they got a little business relationship there. So there's connections all over the pits and all over the racetrack as well. Well, A-Bear in the 1 and Matt Shepard are keeping up. They have to go 124 laps. They've got a huge mountain to climb on the fuel they have left.
Richie Tobias is on the move. He just drove around Tim Fuller. Look at this man. On lap 98, he was 29th. He's already up to 6th position here with 42 laps to go.
Let's focus on Tobias and Fuller. Tobias under Fuller for 6th place. Obviously, strong car. Let's have a replay of some of Richie's last 2 passes in the last 4 laps.
He drives by Steve Payne for position, and then he dives under Tim Fuller to pick up yet another spot. A very strong race car. His crew chief told us he was going to go. Well, Richie's going.
You know what? That may be his first pass on the inside all afternoon long. Absolutely. Up front, Coffey. Let's listen to his radio traffic.
6th lead, Vic. It's our race to pace now. It's our race to pace. Vic, do you still have a copy on us? Sure, try to talk to him. I got you, guys. I got you. You copy me? I got you, Vic. I got you. I just wanted to make sure, because if we do lose radio connection, we're trying to just give you signals. That's all.
You know, radios in a 200-mile race are critical. They don't use these except for the long-distance races, Shane.
That's right. Your spotter and your crew chief are so important on a track this big.
Meanwhile, Ronnie Johnson has overhauled Canadian Dave A-Bear for 4th place. And A-Bear, I gotta wonder if he's conserving gas, Shane.
Well, he stopped on lap number 76. He's got 124 miles to go. He's trying not to push it, letting the guys go by and hoping that maybe something will happen to them to put him back up in the top 3 or maybe even into the winner's circle.
Tobias trying to reel in Johnson. As they make their way around here, Ward again has another peek on the inside of Matt Shepard in the Camping World entry.
Have you noticed that Vic Coffey hasn't run away from all these guys? Once he got out in front, just backed it off and just conserve. That's the word of the day.
Absolutely, it has to be. The louder you are on the loud pedal, the more gas you drink, quite obviously. Brett Hearn making his way around. Ward, I don't know whether he's backing off in his challenge at all, but Richie Tobias is sizing up Ronnie Johnson. You know there's something up his sleeve for later.
Pat Ward is on the same pit schedule as Vic Coffey. They both pitted on lap number 84, so it's actually helping Pat Ward to ride behind Matt Shepard, as Shepard is kind of holding up those 4 cars behind him.
Well, Tobias tried to pass down on the bottom earlier on. And now he's got a little heat there from D.I.R.T, who goes from the low line to the high line. There's nothing there. He tucks it back in.
You can see the progression of Tobias. He was as far back as 34th. He was up to second. He is currently riding in 5th.
He won this race in 1992. His dad, Toby, won it back in 1975 to this point. The only father and son to win big block championships at Super Dirt Week.
What a nice guy, too, out of Annville, Pennsylvania. We talked about what the crowd would do if Pat Ward won. I can't imagine what they would do if Tobias made it back to victory lane.
D.I.R.T is putting a little heat on Tobias's back porch there. The Canadian is getting a little more obvious in what he's trying to do, getting a little more offensive with his attack.
And I'm surprised to see that with the length that he's trying to go, and Tobias is looking underneath Johnson.
Oh, Ronnie Johnson better watch out because Tobias is on the prowl. He runs up top normally, but he can make it work down below. He just showed us a few laps ago.
Maybe D.I.R.T is trying to light the fire underneath Tobias and push him a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. The Canadian who was in the top 5 in points at both Autodrome and Granby in Quebec, Canada.
Talk about cat and mouse. Okay, you try and push a guy a little harder to use up some of his juice to make him try and run out at the end of the race to benefit yourself.
Already down the back straightaway, Ronnie Johnson. No doubt getting word that there goes Tobias on the inside, and a caution to slow it down. Chris Schultz is in trouble up against the wall in turns 3 and 4.
Wow, he hit it pretty good. You can see the damage on the back end, and he also got it with the right front.
Let's have a replay in what happened here with Schultz in the 24. Well, the wheel comes off. You can't drive or steer with that happening.
No, you can't. And after that, it looks like he just went right up out of the groove. Got it with the back end, comes right around. Look out for that tire.
Is it coming close to our camera guy? Better not. He's too expensive. Camera 2. All right, Chris Schultz, the crew attending to the number 24, badly wounded up against the guardrail, and we're yellow again at Super Dirt Week. Everybody wanting to win, but there's lots of sportsmanship and friendship as well. Billy Decker's crew chief, Scott Jeffrey, in the coffee pit, giving him a little advice on fuel. Who will have enough to go to the end? More of the Rite 200 on speed in a moment. In the Pat Ward pit, they have a problem. We just learned this on the radio. Front left tire problems. No choice but to come in. Bad luck in the 358 race, running out of gas. Let's go down to Mark Kenyon.
Pat Ward slides the 42 Gypsum Express in. The crew goes to action. This is tough to do. They've got to put a special adapter on the front bumper to jack the car up. Left fronts are not normally what you change. The crew dumps in a load of fuel, but this is going to much be the end of Pat Ward's day as far as a victory goes. Pat Ward down and away. Left front tire on. Good to go.
Super Dirt Week, bad luck, good luck. It's not looking that good right now for Pat Ward.
Right rear tire looks good. Hopefully these other guys are going to run out.
Well, running out of gas is what cost him the 358 championship. He hopes the other guys run out of gas on the big block side of things, Shane.
There's about 10 other guys out there hoping that somebody else runs out of gas, too.
It is a gas gamble. It has been a gas calculation all day. If you just joined us here in the Rite 200, Shane.
Notice what Vic Coffey's doing. He's letting everybody get up to his bumper. Before we went to break, we heard Scott Jeffries in the crew from the Gypsum team coming over to the Sweeteners Plus crew saying, don't let them get a run on you.
Exactly. Restart lap 170. Green in the air. Coffey, Shepard, Johnson, Tobias, Fuller, D.I.R.T, Payne, Hearn, Phelps, and Plank, your top 10. Phelps has picked up 7 spots in the last 20 laps. Is he on a charge?
It's show or tell time right now. You've got to make your move. You've got to make your move. You've got to show your hand. And I'll tell you one guy that's going to show his hand is that number 1 car.
You know, the big dogs, as we've called them off the top of the show, are making their moves. Restart's always the best time to make out ground, and you saw a little bit of that chess match when the green flag flew.
You know, I've got to give a tip of the hat to the Randy Ross Motorsports team of Matt Shepard. They are being pressured heavily right now by Toby Tobias. They're trying to go 124 miles. If they make it, that is great. They know they can do it, but if they don't, it's always R&D for next time.
Oh, absolutely. Now, less than 30 laps to go, and Tobias with Shepard, they're side by side. This is what you pays your money to comes to see as they sweep it down the front straightaway.
Boy, that was awfully close. Tobias almost got the Jersey barrier. Shepard does not want to let him by.
No, he doesn't. Tobias backs off on the attack just a little bit. Sunshine poking through those clouds once again. Visibility is a concern in the other end of the speedway down in turns 3 and 4. And a problem for one of the King machines.
Looks like Russell King in the number 56 out of Bristol, Ohio.
They spent a lot of money to come in. Oh, Hearn just about got the back end of him. That's why you got radios and extra distance races, Shane.
And you need them coming down the backstretch at Syracuse. Remember the view we saw earlier? You're driving right into the sun.
Not easy to see back there, and Brett the Jet almost got grounded into the back of the Russell King 56, who was stopped back there. Visibility is not good. Well, it's bad enough you got the track to race against. You got the visibility to worry about, too. Vic Coffey in the 32C from Leicester, New York. Does he have enough fuel pressure to go the distance? Don't you dare go anywhere. Down toward the bottom of the Rite 200 when we come back. Welcome back to Super Dirt Week 36, the Moody Mile in Syracuse, New York, and the closing pages of the Rite 200 Big Block Championship. Lots of drama, dripping with drama with different pit strategies. Toby Tobias has been on a charge. Let's go down to his pit in Mark Kenyon.
Richie ran up here once a few years ago and couldn't go 100 miles on a tank of fuel. What did you guys do to change his car around?
Kevin Enders has built us a great motor, and we've worked with Steve Baker on the carburetor. Richie isn't getting as much wheel spin out there on the outside as he has in the past. He's learned to conserve the fuel a little bit. He's gotten, he's matured a little bit. So we got plenty of fuel. We just ran the calculations again. We got plenty of rubber. So that's why all these fans are in the stands right now to watch Toby do what he does.
It's a great show. Keep your eye on it. Toby Tobias. Nobody has more fun or does it better than him.
Getting set for the restart. The last handful of laps of the Rite 200. It's green, green. Go, go from Dave Farney. Into turn one they go.
Tim Fuller with a great move on the top side. Using the restart, just drove around Ronnie Johnson.
Now the two guys who have done what had to be done, Shane, all day, are into great positions now with lots of laps left to go before this thing is all done.
I don't think Brett Hearn's finished either. He's going after Steve Payne. Top side working for the Jet.
Jet shaking off big problems with the clutch earlier on that made the each pit stop a tremendous headache, but he's looking pretty racy down towards the bottom of this thing, Shane.
Another driver that's rebounded nicely, too, after a mess in the pits was Jimmy Phelps, number 98H. He's trying to move forward, staying on the top side.
Oh, no, Jimmy Phelps gets hung out on the outside and all that loose stuff. He loses 3 or 4 positions, maybe more. That could just about kill his chances. He lost a bunch of real estate there.
I just jinxed him. I was saying nice things about him, and then he goes in too hard into turn number 1. But he did keep it off the wall.
He did keep it off the wall. That was a Herculean effort for sure. 24 laps to go in the Rite 200. Vic Coffey, 32C. In the Sweeteners Plus, Bicknell with CNC Performance Power. He's got company, though. Shepard in the 44S, and he's got all kinds of pressure from Tobias down on the bottom.
3 different pit strategies here. Remember, Coffey's looking to go 116 laps. Shepard's looking to go 124. Tobias looking to go 107.
That's the distance between them, 0.734. That's not a lot at all. Tobias trying to make it work down low. Shepard trying to hold his line, and he gets into the Jersey barrier. My goodness, Richie Tobias just got into the Jersey barrier in turn 3 and 4.
And Tim Fuller took advantage when Tobias shot up the track. Fuller drove right underneath him and put the car into position number 3.
He keeps going. The car seems to be steering okay. Let's have another look at this. Man, what else can happen?
Trying to get to the inside, just misjudged the corner and clipped the Jersey barrier with the left front.
Rich Francis with the reaction. Oh.
Boy, that looks at it all, didn't it?
You didn't want to see that. A little miscue by Toby. Puts the car into the Jersey barrier, actually in turn 4.
That's the first mistake Tobias has made all day.
Oh, Tim Heinle out of Monticello, New York is in trouble. That's going to bring out the yellow on lap 178. You're right. The rare mistake that Toby made all race long.
Boy, this is a race you've got to be on your mark each and every time. A tough break for Tobias.
This is the Heinle ride up into the wall. Ouch.
How many times have we seen this today? Somebody getting up in the loose stuff and take you right up into the wall.
Regular at the Orange County Fair Speedway, his day is done late in the action in the Rite 200 at Super Dirt Week. Fuller, and he's got Tobias. The question I got to ask you, Shane, how badly is he injured?
Down here in the Tobias pit, he tagged the left front off the Jersey barrier. Did he say anything to you guys?
No, he hasn't said anything. Means there's nothing wrong with the car. So hopefully there's a guy up in the sky named Dick Tobias watching us right now, looking over us.
Oh, I'm glad he mentioned Dick Tobias. This is all about families, this form of the sport. Dick Tobias winning here, sprint car racer, lost his life racing. This family has been through everything to do with this sport.
An incredible innovator when it came to sprint car and modified chassis building, and Richie has inherited that innovation.
He really has. More of the Rite 200 from Super Dirt Week. Got you back at Syracuse. This is the Vic Coffee pit. Scott Jeffrey on the radio telling Coffee to watch Shepard and Fuller laying back on the restart. He's from the Decker crew.
Great sportsmanship and friendship. When you travel on the road as much as these teams do, you help each other out.
Well, Vic Coffey's got to keep Shepard behind him, but what is Shepard's game plan? Let's go to Sarah Jane Hunt.
Matt Shepard currently in second. For you guys to make it all the way, that would be an enormous feat, over 120 laps. Can you do it still?
Well, if we didn't have to race, we had a shot at it. Now we got to race, so now every lap is critical.
Okay, on the edge of their seats here in Matt Shepard's pit, the young guy, New Egypt Speedway champion, is just trying to conserve fuel now.
Green for the restart on 184. It's gonna get hairy.
Looking to the top, looking to the top. Clear. 5 car, 5, 6 car, 6.
That was Vic Coffee spotter telling Vic, okay, this is the distance you've made up. This is what you're doing right now. And on these restarts, so critical, Eric, as Fuller went after Shepard and Tobias was going after Fuller.
Yeah, Tobias continues this attack on Tim Fuller in the 19. Tim Fuller, the 2007 World of Outlaws Late Model Series Rookie of the Year. He said he just wanted to give it a try, and I think it's worked out better than he even expected, Shane.
He's come a long way from running pure stocks at Fulton Speedway years ago.
Absolutely. Former Mr. Dirt champion. He has won this race in a modified as well. You drive him different, but there's a lot of know-how with Tim Fuller in the World of Outlaws.
I want to run for that Outlaw title. The late model title, that's what I want. And I mean, I think we're competitive right now to where we need to be. I mean, there's still some tracks we haven't been to, but I think we honestly can maybe give it an honest shot next year. And the thing is, yeah, everybody watched Timmy do it, and he come from the same area I did. And I mean, good modified drivers switch over to good late model drivers. I've always said that, you know, best drivers come out of the North Country here. I've always said that. They're just very talented guys. And if you can drive a late, if you can drive a modified, you can drive a late model. It just, the whole key is getting it set up right and doing the deal.
One of the things I really like that Fuller said, Shane, the strongest drivers come from the north.
That's right, the North Country in New York State. Bob McCready, one of the best out of Watertown, New York, in a modified. Now his son Tim McCready is making waves as a Richard Childress developmental driver.
Look at this battle for third. We got, problems with the Cozy 44. That throws cold water on that fight with Fuller and Tobias. And a huge break for Fuller because they're going to go back to the last green flag lap, and Tobias will not get credited with third.
No, he won't, and that is the turning point for Toby Tobias. Boy, this place can be so good to you. It can also jump up and get you. And look at this, Tobias pulling right up alongside Fuller. He wants that position.
They're trying to chase down Vic Coffey. Let's see what happens in the closing laps of the Rite 8-200 on speed in a moment. Just a handful of laps left to go in the Rite 8-200 Big Block Modified Championship. Super Dirt Week 36, 2007. Phenomenal weather. Quick down to the pits and Mark Kenyon.
Down here in the coffee pit, yellow is going to be your favorite color. You got these yellows are doing nothing but help you.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. That's, yeah, it is our favorite color right now. Obviously, it's crunch time. We couldn't be happier.
Two guys behind you stopped on lap 93. They got more gas. A big gap between 9 laps.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But as I say, the yellows are helping us. Vic's been doing a good job. You know, we just got to see what happens, I guess.
Great TV.
Yeah, great TV back in 2002. Shades of that race where Vic Coffey didn't lead any laps until the very end, and where the guys ahead of him ran out of fuel. Kenny Tremont headed one. Suddenly the gas pressure went to 0.
A half a straightaway lead for the 115 of Kenny Tremont. Heading into turn number 1 and 2, you can see him wiggling the car. He ran out of gas, and Vic Coffey was in the right spot at the right time and drove around him and went on to win the biggest race of his career.
Coming through in the dark at Super Dirt Week, Vic Coffey brings it home. In a surprise, is the crew happy? Oh, yeah, they didn't expect that. And the beverages spraying in victory lane for Vic. What about today? Restarting in lap 188. Shepard's got to be on fumes. Fuller and Tobias are probably okay. Can he survive 116 miles? Coffey, can he do it?
We're going to find out. Look at this. Tim Fuller all over Matt Shepard.
Big restart. Can Fuller overhaul Shepard? He slots himself in there. He's got it.
Fuller coming strong on the outside. Now, Fuller's coming. Fuller's behind you. 2 lead Fuller. 3.
Fuller in the 19. 19, more gas, and he's passed a number of cars to get it done. Vic has got a big job in front of him. Vic Coffey has had a pretty decent career as a full-time driver. Let's remember, he's won this race before.
That's right, and that's his only win on the Advanced Auto Parts Modified Super Dirt Car Series. He has 33 modified wins to his credit. He doesn't have the credentials of Tim Fuller, but I'll tell you what, Eric, you cannot take away the masterful race that Vic Coffey has driven today. My hat's off to him.
Absolutely, he has come through very, very well, remembering some of the gas nightmares that have plagued him in the past. He's going to try and stretch it out to do it today.
You know, if he has to, he'll make that car as wide as he needs to keep that 19 of Tim Fuller behind him. Not only the gas strategy, but also the racing strategy.
Tobias on the back end of Matt Shepard's 44. Those guys have been having at it here for the last big handful of laps. Trying to stretch it out here. Vic must have pretty good fuel mileage. Yellow comes out. We've got a problem on lap 190, turns 3 and 4. Jerry Higbee is in trouble out of Slate Hill, New York.
Remember what Pete Coffey said? Yellow is their favorite color.
That's right.
This helps Vic Coffey.
We just talked about him pulling out to a bit of a lead there. Does he have enough gas? Every lap they can complete here under yellow when the RPMs come down, the engine is just simply not going to drink as much fuel. There is your top 10 with 10 more to go. Back with the conclusion of the Rite 200 in a moment. Welcome back to Super Dirt Week 36, the Moody Mile, the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse, New York. The Rite 200 Big Block Modified Championship. Let's give you the Rite Aid race recap. Beautiful weather for Super Dirt Week. 47 cars take the green as they pound down into turn number 1. Cannot believe this weather. It's up in the 70s. Lap number 76, a pit stop for Matt Shepard. It looks pretty much routine. They take on tires, they take on fuel. And it looks pretty fair for Matt Shepard. Coming out of the pits, though, all of a sudden, Chris Schultz comes in, gives him a little love tap. No major damage there at all, but that was some concern. Lap 154. The gap is open for Shepard, and Vic Coffey scoots down underneath and takes the position away. And the crew is liking the aggression an awful lot. Lap 178. Richie Tobias putting on a show all day long, but he makes an error in turn 4. He gets up into the Jersey barrier. Rich Francis reacts. He cannot believe it. That was a costly mistake for Toby Tobias. Lap 189. Fuller dives around Shepard. He grabs second place. And that brings us to the present situation where you got Fuller tucked in behind Vic Coffey.
Okay, he's coming back to you now. Coming back to you.
Looking for the pass for the lead. This could be the race right here, Shane.
Right there on the top.
Oh, just can't quite make it work.
Wow, he survived that restart. Like I said, Eric, he will make that Sweeteners Plus 32C as wide as he needs to. We're talking 50,000 plus on the lines to win this event.
Vic Coffey won it in 2002 when the other guys ahead of him ran out of gas. He's had enough yellows, we think, so he can go the distance. Just a fistful of 5 laps to go. Vic Coffey out of Leicester, New York in the Sweeteners Plus machine. Tim Fuller out of Edwards, New York, trying to chase him down, but he may be running out of time.
Running out of time and real estate. Coffey running a very smart line, very smart race, staying off the Jersey barrier just enough that there's not enough for Fuller to shoot underneath and enough for him to go to the top side to make it work.
The other thing I like too is Vic's not getting spooked out of his lane, out of his line. He's holding the line. He's not letting the pressure from Fuller get to him to mess him up.
It's obvious the crew told him, you've got enough to go the distance. Now you can start pushing the car because he's picked up the pace.
Crew on the radio with all the coaching he can handle. Some like a lot of chatter on the radio, some do not. Vic shifts up to the middle portion of the racetrack. Now he tucks it in to get around turns 3 and 4 by the horse barns here at Syracuse. It's Vic Coffey, your leader. It's Tim Fuller desperately trying to chase him down with only 4 laps to go in the Rite 200.
Looking to go 116 laps. Remember 1 year ago that Dr. Danny Johnson went 115.
And third place car, Matt Shepard, he's out of gas, Shane.
120 laps, Matt Shepard was able to get around this racetrack. Incredible.
Unbelievable. The gas bug bites the Matt Shepard number 44. Vic Coffey, 3 laps to go, holding out Tim Fuller. Just the last few turns here at the Moody Mile. And Vic Coffey looking at career win number 2 in the Big Block Championship at Super Dirt Week.
It's incredible, Eric. Two different pit strategies. Coffee came in on lap 84. Fuller came in 9 laps later on lap number 93. Who's going to be the one to make it to the end first?
Well, Vic Coffey right now, a little bit of a bobble there in the turns and those abrasions of the racetrack. But I tell you what, Fuller's not gaining any ground if he's got anything left. He's going to have to pull it out of the holster and fire it right now with just 2 laps to go. Double flags. The popsicle sticks are in the air.
Remember earlier we said the word of the day was conserve? Well, not anymore.
Oh, no.
Boy, you kick the tires and light the fires now.
You just plant the foot down. There's Dave Barney's white flag. 1 more mile around. And Vic Coffey, the crew is clapping. He can smell victory number 2 for his career at Super Dirt Week in the big blocks. I don't think Fuller's got anything for him in the 19, Shane.
If he does, he better make it work now, because Vic Coffey is driving a masterful race as he takes him into turn 3, Eric.
Slow car on the bottom at 4. Watch coming off at 4. He's pulled in. He's clear. Come on, bring it to the house now. Come on.
Well, these guys are going to stand in line for Coffey. With Rite it's personal. For Vic Coffey, it's a way of life. Vic Coffey will come on down to grab him.
You're a man, Vic Coffey. You're a man, brother. Woo! Yeah, Victor!
2002, he won it the first time. 2007, 5 years later, Shane Anders, he hauls the mail and brings it home.
Tim Fuller pulls right up alongside him, pointing over. What a race, as the crew is going absolutely crazy. A well-deserved win.
Perhaps an unexpected winner, but a masterful piece of strategy. Let's go down to the Accelerate Victory Lane.
Vic Coffey climbs out of the Sweeteners Plus. Number 32 on the roof for the second time at Syracuse. And it's raining down here, raining champagne. Let's see if we can get a word in with him here. Come on down, Vic. Oh, you're a spry guy. Vic Coffey, unbelievable race. Take me back to that move, that last pit stop, and then when you knew you had to go to distance, were you worried? Feather in the throttle, were you worried?
Yeah, I was worried. I mean, you know, you try and ride, you don't know if you're saving gas. I was worried. I mean, who wouldn't be?
This is your second time here in Victory Lane. Is this one better than the first?
Yeah, this one better than the first. Everybody said, oh, you got lucky. Well, we didn't get lucky today, baby.
He is lucky. He's one of the luckiest guys in Syracuse. Vic Coffey in for the win. Vic, where are you going?
Rite Aid, Liverpool.
He's going to Rite Aid.
He's going to Rite Aid. Exactly. Great run by Tim Fuller in second place. He's with our Sarah Jane Hunt.
All right, Tim Fuller, you came up just a little bit short today, but it was a hard fall at second place.
Yeah, I mean, this TL Pro car, it worked really well, you know, and we had plenty of motor Enders power to get down straight away, but the problem is he was all done conserving there at the end, and he moved up a little bit in 1 and 2 where I was rolling really good, and that was my only shot to get him on a restart or catch him sleeping down there, but now we come up 1 short. But
You had a couple of times there you had to get around Richie Tobias and Matt Shepard. With those guys holding you up, did that prevent you to get into Coffee? Do you think you had more time if you could have gotten by them?
Well, if we could have got more time to push him, definitely. I mean, he was running real good, but we could have pushed him and wore him down a little bit as far as fuel. He pitted before us, and we could have wore more tire out with him because we were on fresher equipment. So, yeah, it kind of screwed up. But every now and again, you know, when you're going on the outside of this place, you screw up. And I screwed up a couple of times, so it set me back. But all in all, it was a good run.
Next year, you're going World of Outlaw late model racing. Can we see you back here in Syracuse?
Oh, I'll definitely be back here. You know, as much as I hate coming here, you know, it's one of those races you got to win. I mean, there's nothing like it being up on that podium, you know, and this is the modified race of the year.
There you go. Tim Fuller came home second today. He might be changing series next year, but he'll be back at Syracuse.
He doesn't like coming here, but he certainly likes to accept the challenge. Tim Fuller will be back at Super Dirt Week, already making a mark for himself in the World of Outlaws late model series. With our third place finisher, Mark Kenyon.
Richie, I was in your pit. Your guy said they turned you loose. You were really coming hard, and then you tagged the left front off the Jersey barrier. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we were. You know, Bob Lyman and Troyer gave me an excellent race car, and I was pushing Matt real hard, and when the sun there late in the race, the sun was in our eyes, and got up underneath Matt Shepard there, and he pinched me in the inside. But hey, that's racing, you know, and we were better on long runs, and man, I tell you what, that Fuller kid can drive a car.
What did it do? Did it knock the toe out? Did the handling go away?
No, it didn't. I mean, we just got real loose, you know. I don't know why. You know, I needed to be tighter to run up on the top side, you know, to get around guys. And, you know, I just kept getting looser and looser as it went. But, hey, a third place for, this team is an awesome experience.
Richie Tobias home for third.
Call him the showman, always exciting, always knows one way, and that's flat out.
He put on a show, but Vic Coffey gets the spoils here today.
Vic Coffey up on the victory podium with more than one or two photographs. Let's give you the results of the Rite Aid 200. Dave Hebert down in fifth, the only Canadian in the field, 124 miles. That's something to remember for the future.
You better believe it. Sean Reimer finished back in 16th. He is the Freihofer's race rookie, picking up $2,000.
Steve Payne finishing 22nd. Matt Shepard just couldn't make the fuel last. He finishes 23rd. Dale Plank 25th. Jimmy Horton 24th.
Right behind them, we see in the 34th position, Andy Bacchetti. He picked up $5,000 for leading the halfway bonus. Billy Decker, a disappointing 39th, engine problems.
The big story early in the race, Alan and Danny Johnson go out before the race was even a lap old. 5 wins between those two brothers. So that's the way it winds up. Vic Coffey comes through. Congratulations there from Tim McCready. They're friends. We talked about that. A lot of people are very, very happy with his victory in the Rite Aid 200. It was a thriller and one of the best races I've ever seen at Super Dirt Week, Shane Andrews.
This race had a little bit of everything. Drama, excitement, intrigue. Brett Hearn had clutch problems. Vic Coffey made it work to the inside of Matt Shepard and went on and drove one of the best races I've ever seen him run.
It was unbelievable weather here at Syracuse. Temperatures up in the 70s. I tell you what, you just take that weather when you can and run with it because it was spectacular here at Super Dirt Week. And Vic Coffey comes home in the Rite Aid 200 to claim victory. So for Shane Andrews, Mark Kenyon, Sarah Jane Hunt, I'm Eric Thomas. So long, everyone.